Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day it may be for you. I'm the Layback Gamer, and, well, I'm going to do something a little different today. And it's only because I really haven't seen these in the past, but I've seen this for a couple months now, and I kind of am a little nervous that we're not going to see one for this month, but I'm going to be talking about monthly reward cards. So I'm gonna kind of go through the list of these and just in an order of how good they were or how not so great they were, and review them. And at the end of the episode, I'm gonna explain why I think these guys need to make a comeback. So we're gonna start with Dushnikiel Archer, 4 mana, 3/3, guard. Summon, deal 1 damage, or destroy an enemy support. I initially, when I had first saw this all the way back in October 2017, and did a review on it, which I can't believe we're almost at the 1 year point, if not we've passed the 1 year point, where I've started making videos for Elder Scrolls Legends. I still can't believe I've actually been doing this for a whole year, but I thought this was going to be a pretty good card. Now, we don't quite see it played everywhere, but with the effect being able to destroy an enemy support, it's still a really powerful card. We see this quite a bit today. I run this. I even decided to throw some soul gems into it to make a second copy, just because I thought this was a really good card, and it still, to this day, holds up as a really good card. Next, we're gonna Gardener Sword. No, that came in the Madhouse. Doppelganger came in the Forgotten, which means this one, the Conjuration Tutor, came in with the June 2017 reward. A 6 mana 3/3 summon, shuffle 3 Lava Atronachs into your deck. When you summon an Atronach, summon a copy of it into the other lane. Now, we don't see this card played too much anymore, sadly. Personally, I think it's a fair card. It does shuffle 3 very powerful Lava Atronachs in the deck, which are 8/8s. With Breakthrough, Guard, Ward, and they cost 7. And they count as a day draw. So basically, whenever this card comes out on the field, it's a insta threat almost, because if you know your opponent is running Atronachs, which is probably likely a big reason why they're playing this card, you know they're gonna probably have maybe 1 or 2 Atronach cards in their hand, or a couple ways to get it, such as High Rock Summoner or Breton Conjurer or Conjuration Scholar, I think? Not 100% sure. But whenever they see this on the field, an Atronach's likely coming in the next couple of turns. And if you're like me, I remember, I don't know if I caught this on video, but I had managed to get 2 21/21 Flesh Atronachs out on the board, and one of them was created by the tutor. I may have got the chance to summon an Iron Atronach, like 2 of them, one from the tutor, at one point, but I don't... something tells me I don't think I have done that one. The Flesh Atronach, I know I've done a couple times. Anyways, this is a very threatening card whenever it comes out. Is it good? It's more of a hit or miss. It becomes better when you're able to play Atronachs off of it, or whenever you start drawing those Lava Atronachs. That's when the real value of this card comes out. It does generate 3 extra copies of not 3 extra copies, 3 extra cards in your deck. So if you're, say, playing for an incredibly late game where you try to exhaust your opponent's resources, this is a way that you can push yourself a little extra longer and get some really strong creatures out. It's a fair card. Not exact. I don't think it's, you know, as good as Dushnikiel Archer, but it's still an alright card. Next we have Conjurer's Spirit, 3 mana support. At the end of your turn, gain 2 health. If you summoned let me try that again. If you gained health this turn, summon a 2/2 familiar, and this was the April 2018 reward. I've seen this once. Okay, I'm just going to dismiss that for good. Because it keeps coming up. And I don't really care about that. Anyways, I've like I said, I've only seen this played once, and I don't think it really worked out for my opponent. Just, no, it's not a good card. Awful card at that. Pack Leader, 4 mana wolf, 4/4 pilfer, summon a 1/1 young wolf. Other friendly wolves have +1/+1. It's a fair size. It's a fair size creature, 4 health. It can survive quite a bit of damage, or direct damage. Still gets one shot by lightning bolts, but the 4 attack is also nice as it allows you to trade with quite a variety of different cards out there. And also being able to buff other wolves makes him a little more viable. I still think that if we really want to push the wolf synergy, we're going to have to get a couple more strong wolves. I still think they should give Alpha Wolf a health buff by at least 1. Ever since this card was released, I've always thought they really kind of should do it, because this is infinitely better by giving other wolves just that extra health. Sometimes the extra attack, yes, can come in handy, but Alpha Wolf, it gets killed by anything. You could kill it with a sweet roll. If done correctly, a sweet roll can kill that. Just a bit of food for thought. Fair card. Don't see it being played too much, but I think it could be played a little bit more. Nope, that's Madhouse. Nothing in agility. Oh boy, endurance. We got a few. 2 words for this card. Well, first off, Prophet of Bones, Dark Elf, 2/1, 1 mana, Exalt for 5, fill this lane with 1/1 Risen Undead with guards, with guard. Monthly reward of June 2018. Everything about this card is bad. Not even gonna. That's it. Even the art is crappy. No offense to the artist, but that's awful. 4 mana Hissgrove support. Summon +1 maximum magicka at the start of your turn if you have 15 or more max magicka. Summon his sacrifice this card and summon and put an 8/8 Swamp Leviathan in each lane. It used to cost 3 mana, was the reward for September 2016. I remember when this costed 3, seeing it come out, it was a little scary, but honestly, I don't really think the increase in cost has done too much. I mean, you're mainly playing this card, A, for the to gain more magicka, and B, for the chance that you can get those 8/8 Swamp Leviathans out. And delaying it by a turn, while it does have some impact, for the ultimate goal of this, for the primary goal of gaining max magicka, it's done. You've done it. Yeah, you had to play it a turn later, but you made your goal. Now, if you didn't have anything on the turn 3, yeah, that does suck. But again, if all your goal is to get more magicka, you've done it. The card's done its job. And if you can if it manages somehow to last all the way to the point where you have 15 max magicka at the start of your turn, you get some 8/8s with it. But most people try to remove this if they can, and if they don't, then they're kind of doomed. Well, before the red year, they were in a bit of trouble. After the red year came, I remember a match that I had. I think I may have had it on even as an episode where I managed to get this to go off. I was so excited. I said, "All right, you're dead this turn. What could possibly go wrong?" He plays the red year. I went, "Oh, well, I did not see that coming." And nope, that's Madhouse. Lastly, Pureblood Elder, not Vampire. It is a vampire card. 7 mana, 8/8. When you gain max magicka, double the amount you gain while you have 18 or more max magicka, Pureblood Elder has 8+8/+8 and breakthrough. The reward for August 2017. I thought this was a really good card when it first came out. It's kind of dwindled in value a lot since its release, but it's still a pretty decent late game card. I don't see this guy as much anymore, which it's kind of sad because you could easily use this along with a couple other Magicka gains to trigger the Hiss Grove easily. So it's a good, I think it's a good late game card. Just not many, you don't have that many slots in your deck, and there are other things that you could shuffle in instead of Pureblood Elder, which is unfortunate. Blackhand Messenger, 0/2 assassin card. Drain, summon, deal 2 damage to a creature. Last gasp, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Pretty strong card, especially if you can get, well, you don't even need to get an item on it. All you need is just the 2 damage in most cases that I've played with this card, or against this card. I don't really have too much more to say on this, other than, oh yeah, really works great in Alter decks. I will say that. Blackwood Distiller, 4 mana, 3/4. Pilfer, gain 3 magicka this turn. Slay, gain +1 max magicka this turn. I was wrong about this. I thought this was going to be a much more popular and more played card than it was. Either that, or I'm just not seeing it anywhere. But yeah, it's kind of sad because I thought this was a pretty good card when it came out. That this was going to be played a little. It was going to maybe bring back Ramp Scout a little more. Now, granted, again, I play a lot of the lower levels. I don't tend to go look up deck lists, but if there is a successful deck list with this on it, you know, I didn't know about it, and I'll take back anything I said about. But it just it's a little disappointing. I wish this was played a little more. Emperor's Blade. 4 mana, 4/5, guard, slay, you gain 3 health. Monthly reward of September 2017. Don't really see this card too much. When it does come out, it does its job really well as a guard. Whenever I play against it, I try to always get around the slay mechanic, unless it's a creature with lethal, in which case, go ahead. But still, I find this better as just, I'm going to protect myself with this over, I'm going to try to kill something with this. It's a pretty good card. Pretty good card. Ulfric's Housecarl, 4 mana, 3/3. When an enemy rune is destroyed, draw a card. This, I believe, used to be a 4 mana, 3/4. So it had to get nerfed. Really powerful in Crusader, especially since they could easily bash your face down. Not played as much, either that or the opponents that I've played against. It just can't seem to draw this or get it to activate. But when you can get this card to activate, it is really powerful. Just a bit, essentially, break a room. When you break a room, both you and your opponent draw a card. And yes, he has a chance to play a prophecy off of it, but at least you're getting some value for breaking your opponent's rooms, which also combos really well with the werewolves, or any card that can turn into beast form. Worm King's Agent, 7 mana, 4/4, summon, deal 2 damage to a creature, slay, summon a 2/2 worm thrall with guard. I'm unsure whether this card was really that useful. I mean, when I first, oh yeah, it was a monthly reward of 2017 of November, in case you guys didn't read that. But anyways, I think it's in the slot where Pureblood Elder is, except this has more viability. So I think this would, in Sorcerer, this would be one of the cards you would use over Pureblood Elder. That being said, I don't see it too often, mainly because most games I have with Sorcerer, I end up dying or beating them down before I get to see this card, if they even have it in the deck. I'm wondering if maybe in the future, if we do, and, well, I'm not saying if, I believe we are going to get an expansion themed around Oblivion, if we're going to get some cards that are going to benefit Undead, like a couple of cards that are going to benefit Undead, because one of the major plot points of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion was the Mages Guild, and essentially you were in this war against necromancy and you had to defeat the King of Worms. So I'm wondering if when we do get a Oblivion expansion, if we will see some cards that synergize a little bit with Undead, which Worm Thrall is, or maybe if we'll see cards that give buffs to anything with Worm in it. Like if we see a Man Marco card, and whenever it slays, it adds it can summon a 2/2 Worm Thrall and add a, similar to Blood Magic Lord, add a Necromancer card to your hand. Or maybe it gives, or maybe whenever it slays, it gives all of the cards with Worm in its name +1/+1 and adds a card. I don't know. I think this might eventually get more viability in the future. I also kind of hope it does, because the effect is really useful, but we'll have to see it for that. Here's a card I thought was going to be a little more useful than it was. Frostkill Dragon, 9 mana dragon, 6/6. Summon, deal 4 damage to an enemy creature and 1 damage to all of the creatures. The effect is pretty good as a bit of a mini board clear. It's a little weak to be considered board clear, but you could use the 4 damage to clear something and then deal 1 damage to everything else. The problem with this card is in its cost. It costs too much. Well, no, let me rephrase that. For its stats and its effect, it doesn't cost too much. The problem is the effect, really, it could be much more useful a lot earlier. Say if you had a dragon of this magnitude with, say, a 2/3 at 5 mana that does the same effect, it would be much more, ultimately, I think, much better than a 9 mana 6/6. Again, that's my opinion, but the effect is just much more useful being played earlier on. Steam Constructor, 2 mana, a Dwemer, 2/2. Summon if you have a neutral card in your hand. Summon a 1/1 Reconstructed Spider. This isn't too hard to get off. It's a nice cheap Dwemer card for Dwemer decks out there, or say Factotum decks, if you want to go that route. And, well, you could easily get a 2 mana 3/3 out of total stats worth out of this. So it's not a bad card. Just there's not many decks that try to do neutral nowadays. Only neutral nowadays. Mechanical Ally. Oh, and this was the 2018 February reward. October 2016 reward, Mechanical Ally, 3 mana Dwemer, 3/3, summon a spider worker if the top card of your deck is neutral. Again, if this works best if you're playing a neutral only deck, guarantee get the spider worker out and a free card for that. It's good only in a neutral deck though. If it's anywhere else and you don't get this off, it's just a 3 mana 3/3, and there are other cards out there with the same cost, maybe slightly different stat line, that are much better to play over Mechanical Ally, unless it's in a neutral deck. Nope, that's Madhouse. And I think that's it. Unless this, I might be missing one. Oh yeah, I am missing a couple of them. Heroic Rebirth, monthly reward, February 2017. 3 mana support. Activate transform a creature in your hand into a random legendary. Awesome sounding on paper. It just sounds really cool and fun to play with. Not so much in real life. And yeah, I do notice that. I'm now remembering that there were actually 2 cards here, so we're going to quickly run through all the ones that I don't actually have one. Stampede Sentinel, 6 mana giant, 7/7, breakthrough. You can't be damaged by actions or supports. I've never seen this card get played, aside from in the Dark Brotherhood mission, and that was really only thematic purposes. This card definitely does sound very cool on paper, but again, in practicality, it just doesn't hold up, sadly. I think if you made this, say, 6/6/8, 8 mana, 8 or 9 mana, 6/6, and this card, this and you can't be damaged by actions or supports, I think that would be a much better card. It would see, it might have to even be a 10 mana for that matter. But this would definitely be much more viable as late game, especially against, say, aggro decks when they're trying to find that last little bit of damage. You smack down Stampede Sentinel. It can't be targeted by by actions or supports, and you can't be either, making it able to just essentially win you the game. I don't know. I definitely think there needs to be a change up with this card if it really wants to see competitive play. Battle Reeve of Dusk, 6 mana, 3/3. Summon, give friendly creatures +1/+1 for each keyword they have. Moving on. Elsewhere Lookout, 3 mana, 1/1. Pilfer, double Elsewhere Lookout's power and health. It gets picked up way too easily, unlike the descendants of Alkosh. At 3 mana, you can have you've drawn a couple extra cards if you didn't have something to deal with descendant. If you didn't have anything to deal with a 1 mana with a 1/1, and it's just way too easily picked off, in my opinion, especially at 3 mana. If it was 2, okay, I could see this being played a little more. At 3, not really. And an outline difference between this and, say, Iliac Sorcerer is Iliac Sorcerer has Ward, and has that activate whenever he breaks Ward. You can easily gain Ward back. This one comes without, so you gotta hope that it survives a turn. Descendant of Alkosh can immediately be played out on turn 1, turn 2, hit face, gain +1/+1 in the keyword. If you get Ward, you keep going. If you get lethal, you have a very cheap removal, insta removal, except if the creature has Ward. This just doesn't work out. Smuggler's Hall, 3 mana action, put 4 random 0-cost cards into your hand. You have to have a deck that's built around 0-cost cards, then this card is really good. Oh, and this is the August 2016 reward. The Elsewhere Lookout was the December 2016 reward, and this one was the November 2016 reward. Chorus Breeding Pit, 10 mana action, summon the Chorus Reaper in each lane. I do love the concept of this card. Oh, and it's a April 2017 monthly reward. It's just too much. I agree with how much it should cost, but it's just too late game to really be played. Oh, hold on. I missed a couple here. Protector of the Main, 5 mana, 4/4. Drain Guard whenever you gain health. Protector of the Main gains +1/+1. There are some. I've had some cases where I've seen one of these get up to absolute insane levels of power, and while it does have the weakness of needing hard removal to get rid of it, if you let this, essentially, if this card gets out of control, you've lost the game. You've lost. It's very difficult to come back, and well, it's just a solid card all around. Next, we have I think this is the last one. We have Sower of Revenge, 5 mana Daedra, 5/5, guard, last gasp, deal 5 damage to your opponent. March 2017 reward. Protector was a May 2017 reward. Yeah, basically this Daedra is, I will hit you, no matter what. Doesn't matter, you can get rid of me, I'll still deal 5 damage to you. Unless you silence it, of course. And it's made Aggro Warrior very effective, so it is a really good card. I don't like it though. Just not because it's a bad card, just I really don't enjoy seeing this. Every time I see this, I go, well, there goes a sixth of my health. 2 gets out. Oh, I'm down a third. Oh, there's the third one. I'm now down to, I've lost half of my health thanks to these guys. And now I'm dead. I think I've got them all now. Okay, so now that we've got them all, big reason why these we need to have more monthly reward cards. I absolutely think they do need to come back, is because they do add a little bit of spice every now and then, especially with the length between expansions. The right monthly reward card can make things interesting again. Let's see here. What is more? I don't think we really had too many recent ones that have made a big impact. Let me just try to. Okay, well, let's go in the case of Conjuration Tutor. When I got this, I was pretty excited because at the time I was playing a lot of Atronax, and to get this out would be absolutely devastating to my opponent. Getting the Lava Atronax, it really made an impact on the game. It still is played in some decks to this day. Also, this card is also played with Altar of Despair, and it was just a really fun card to play with. It still is not really seen too much anymore, but it did make an impact on the game. It was added to a few decks, gave some of them a little more viability, and all around it was really good. Same with Dushnik Yell Archer, really impactful card. It's a earlier second. It's another way that anybody playing strength can remove supports, and in times where Divine Fervor is popular, or support mage, not College of Wind, Altar of Despair decks, and while it was still really broken, Haunted Manor, not Manor of Horrors, Haunted Manor. This was essentially it's a really good cheap way to remove the support. You get a small body behind it, but that small body can be just enough to deal with incoming attacks, or you could use the 1 damage to, say, pick off a key creature. Let's say in the case of an Odoving that I don't know, for some reason got it buffed up. No, let's not use that case. Would be a good case card to use for this? I don't know. Just take any card. Heck, even take Protector of the Main, like in the scenario I described. It just keeps stacking health. Keep stacking. And you have 8 Magicka playing Battle Mage. I don't know why you'd be in this scenario, but you got Lightning Bolt. You have Dushnik Yell Archer. Protector of the Main's 5 damage away from death. You can use that, you can use that 1 damage to help pick off Protector of the Main. A really impactful card, though these two were. And then there are cards that are really bad, like Prophet of Bones. If you played this in the comments section, let me know, please. I think this is absolute garbage card. Awful. Seriously. Who would play this? I mean, the only way I could see you playing this is if you had Bone Colossus ready to go in hand, or I don't know. I don't think this is a great card. To people who are running this, by all means, go ahead. I'm sure you've managed to make it work. I haven't. I want to maybe make this work just to find maybe an ounce of redemption behind this, but it's just not a good card. Even the artwork is terrible. Am I supposed to believe that's a dark elf? That looks more like a human. Seriously. Okay, I'm not gonna rant on any further. Then you have the cool card, the really, on paper, this sounds so cool, and when you actually get this to work, it's awesome, it's fun, and you enjoy it. But in practicality, if you're actually trying to rank up, this doesn't always work, which is sad. You have those cards, which, you know, they can add a bit of spice in every now and then. Try to make people come up with decks around this, play with it, because everybody's going, hey, this is a really cool card. It's not that great, but it's still it's fun. It's a fun card to play. If we could stick to more of the Heroic Rebirth type category of cards and Dushnik Gale Archer category, so the good and the really fun, and away from the cards that are such as Prophet of Bones, which are just awful, that'd be awesome. And we can have that every month with a monthly reward. I think monthly reward cards should have maybe a couple of like say in Hearthstone. I had heard in an interview once that Ben Brode said, or I'm not sure if it was Ben Brode. He's the guy who first comes to mind whenever I think Hearthstone. Well, one of the first things that comes to mind whenever I think of Hearthstone. First positive thing. How about that? There we go. And he had once said that any card, like cards that are really, like say Jade Idol. They came out with Jade Idol in Goblins vs. Gnomes. Or not Goblins vs. Wow, what am I thinking? Mean Streets of Gadgets, and it's got goblins, so I was halfway there. And it was absolutely broken. I mean, seriously, if your opponent was Druid and they were playing smart, they could easily. It was basically, this game is over as soon as I draw Jade Idol for the second time, or even third if you were lucky in some cases. But and then they came out 2 expansions later and created Shrieking Heights or Hikes? I don't know. It was some 6 Magicka 4/6 that destroyed all 1-cost cards in your opponent's deck as a counter to Jade Idol, because they didn't want to nerf the card, and they really should have. But this has a chance to say, if there is a deck that is getting out of control, these monthly reward cards, you throw them in, and some people can figure out, okay, maybe this goes decent against this card, this combination of cards, and it forces people to adapt, to change their strategy, to take in the new card for all of its effects and either play with it or around it. We need, I think, yeah, that's why they should come back. I don't want cards like Prophet of Bones coming back, though. It's awful. I will keep saying it. And if you think so otherwise in the comments section, please let me know. Challenge my opinion. Because it's a garbage card. We don't need cards like that in the game. We need cards such as Hiskro, very impactful. Conjuration Tutor came in, made an impact. Dushnik Gale Archer made a pretty big impact. You now have Smuggler's Hall. You have cards that will work with 0 cost, and this gives you more of them. Swindler's Market. Here's an example that works really well with Smuggler's Hall. Have 2 of these out. Now your Smuggler's Hall just basically gave you, alright, put 4 random cards in your hand, and at any point, you can deal up to 8 damage. Or up to 4 or 12, depending on how many Swindler's Markets you have out on the field at the time. What's another really good card? Ulfric's Housecarl. Yes, I absolutely dislike, and Sower of Revenge, absolutely dislike playing against both of these, but they were impactful. They did something to the game. Playing against Sower of Revenge, you gotta think around that. You gotta make sure that you don't have low enough health where if you kill this thing, you're dead in the next turn, or you die from it. Ulfric's Housecarl, this one's more of a, I gotta remove this card before it gets played, before its effect comes into play. But if I'm playing Prophecies, and my opponent wants to take the chance at attacking me, they're gonna give me a card I could play right away. And it could be impactful. So, those are the types of cards that really need to come back as monthly rewards. Nothing like, please just, I've talked about this card enough. No more of this, please. I can appreciate you were trying to come up with something, but this honestly looks like you went to the bottom of the barrel, pulled this out. This was the absolute last card. It's still a little wet from all the water that it got carried from the rainstorm the other day. And you pulled this out and go, well, put it in the game. I digress. Okay, I'm going to stop ranting now, because I'm sure some people by this point have probably turned off the video just because they don't want to hear me rant. So I'll leave you with this. Monthly rewards, they got to come back, but they got to have, even if it's just a tiny impact. Just a tiny, and I wish I had a card that would have showed a small impact. Mechanical Ally. We'll use that. Mechanical Ally and Steam Constructor. They make new. If you play them in just neutral decks, it's a small impact, but it impacts a neutral deck as a whole. We need to see more of those cards. Sure, you can have the Dushnikiel Archers. You can have the oh jeez, I was just talking about this. Sower of Revenge type cards where they can make a really big impact. But I think the average should be shooting for just a small impact on a couple decks maybe. And then every now and then throw in a fun card where it's not going to be competitive in any way, but still, people who want to play this game for fun, they can have fun. The Heroic Rebirth to me is, yeah, it's got some arena viability, a very, very tiny bit ranked viability, but ultimately it's a fun card. I think we need to see those brought back in. Alright, I'm going to leave now. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button if you really enjoyed. Share this video with anybody who you think will enjoy my content, or share any of my content really. If you want me to see me do more No Man's Sky, comment in the video or head over to the two No Man's Sky episodes I have as of this date, and leave a like on that video and comment about it. Or if you don't want to see it anymore, that's fine, just leave a dislike on that video, and then I'll know not to make it anymore. But next time, I'm gonna be coming up with another fun time deck. How much do I got? I'm thinking I am going to be hopefully making another legendary between then and now. I'm thinking either Orb of Vermina or Bone Colossus. Thinking between one of the two of them. Nothing really else that I want to see. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take it easy.